doesn't know how to work
All
with
right,
me.
so episode 5, right? Like, yeah, episode 5.
We're back.
We're back. Yeah.
We're back. Dude, I've had this thing in my eye, and it
Your eye-
comes and goes,
your
and then it's like
eyeball.
blurry. Yeah. It's like blurry for a second, and then I blink and it goes away. And I don't know if there's like a hair in my eye, like an eyelash in my eye, and I can't get it out and it won't go away. It keeps hiding from me, bro. There it is again. Blowing it. Chat blowing it. No. But anyway, what I want to talk about on this one, of course, of course, the people in the stream knows, but let's surprise everybody again. Switch up. I didn't want to talk about that. I know. Would the child that weren't words are hard. The child that you once was would be happy with the person you have become today. And I don't want to hear anybody say off the top of their head yes or no, because would they really?
No, I want if it, regardless of your answer, because I'm gonna take it the same way. And I didn't have a week to fucking talk to think about this. I had 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So, but I want if you're gonna answer this, I want you to answer it very deeply, like really think about your answer.
Right. I I cannot, without really going through it, answer this question until I've had a child. And I know that's a very bold thing to say. Oh God, very bold thing to say. But
I
my biggest thing as being a child was not having a father and telling myself that I will always be the father that he wasn't and a much better man than he ever was. And I feel like my child self is very happy with where I am now and who I am now. But I haven't had the chance to prove the one thing that I always told myself that I would do:
and what was that?
be the father that my father never was.
Mm.
So, so I just like, as a quick answer, yes, I feel like my child self would be happy with who I am now. But again, I can't say yes yet. I can't say no yet.
Are you saying that as like you can't be confident in that answer?
I can't be confident in the yes yet. You know.
Yeah.
Now I know because I keep telling myself that I will obviously be the father that I never had, but you know, you don't really know until you until you know, you know, until you experience it. So, because I can make up scenarios in my head all day long and tell myself, oh, if this happens or something like that happens, I'm going to be this way about it. I'm going to do this about it. But what I really, because you're not going to know until it happens, you know? Like I'm not going to know how I'm going to react when, like, hopefully it never happens. I don't want to break bones either, you know, but I'm not going to know how I'm going to react when my kid breaks his arm. You know, obviously, I'm gonna do the right thing. Like, all right, let's get you to the hospital, get it looked at, get you taken care of. But and that's just something minor to the bigger picture, of course. But I don't know how I'm gonna react. You know, because what if it was their own fault and I get mad about it? As a first instinct, I get mad, I start screaming and yelling. I would hope I wouldn't, but actions cause reactions, and and in the heat of the moment, you don't always think clearly. But yeah, like I said, I just don't think I can truly answer on a very deep level of my child self would be happy with who I am. I could say for a certain that child me is very proud of where I am and who I am at this current moment, but can't confidently give myself a yes, a complete yes. I'm like a 60-40 yes, you know.
I just want to say something before I even dive into this.
I'm not going to lie, I knew this would also be a deep one for you.
I hate the fact. I love it. I love it because it challenges me and because it you act as my mirror. But at the same time, I also very dislike the fact that you are now thinking so much like I think.
Who do we have to blame here?
Fair enough.
I'm not going to say any names, but
Fair enough.
Steven,
Touche, touche, my friend.
go ahead and toot your own horn for a minute. Go ahead. You know, you made me put my big boy pants on. No, you didn't make me. You made me realize I needed to put my big boy pants on. And you also, this is this is completely off topic now, but you've also made me realize a lot more than you probably think you've made me realize because 5 years ago me wouldn't be sitting here doing this, and we've said this before, but wouldn't be sitting here doing this, wouldn't have this mindset if it wasn't for you. Yeah, write that one down.
I'm writing down things that I want to talk about.
Good. Pencil me in, big dog. But I mean, as for you, like, would your child self be be happy with who you are now?
So, before I give you an answer, because it's not a simple answer, I have to give you probably some backstory that you don't know about me, which is kind of crazy.
You think
Um,
you know a guy?
yeah, you do until you start to peel
This is
back
something
the
we've
layers.
never. This is something we've never even talked about.
We've
Not
ne-
even on our own time.
yeah, we've never talked about this personally or, on a recording or
And
anything.
personally, I can account for much deeper conversations than y'all have seen in these podcasts.
Yes, very, very much so.
That probably will never make it here. You know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, baby.
Down by the river, right?
Down by the river in the full moonlight.
It was actually a new moon
Yeah,
that night. It
that
was a new moon.
even deeper. Anyway, go ahead.
Um, so in a sad attempt, and it sucks, and it's hard because I have to think like the young kid that I used to be.
Right. Which is just hard in itself, regardless of like past trauma, recent trauma.
Yeah, regardless of that, it's like it's reverting. It's intentionally for a moment reverting yourself back to that mentality. The thing that you tried to stave off so much as becoming an adult. Um, I would be I would be very sad at a lot of things. Uh, I'd be sad at the fact that the dreams that I once had, I gave up on. The big ambitions that I used to have got replaced by things that society wanted me to do or responsibilities that I had to take care of. And then I would be disappointed at some of the situations that I put myself in, knowing that they weren't necessary. Regardless of outcome, it was stupid. I would be upset at myself because of all the times that I've ever let myself down, and all the times that I said that I was going to do something and I willingly chose not to do and made an excuse as to why I couldn't or shouldn't do it, even if it was for the better. I would be scared of the person that I am now.
I can see that. I can see that.
I would, as a kid, and I'm thinking of little 8-year-old me,
Right.
if I was to look at someone who is me now, I would look at it as a person to be revered and to be respected, but also as a person to be afraid of.
Yeah.
And that opens the question of, do I even like the person that I've become?
Yeah. Well, we with that answer, we know that your past self wouldn't. Your child
No,
self wouldn't.
no, probably not. But at the same time, the child had to, they had to survive in a much easier way. And I'm doing my best to think about it from the kid looking at present me versus me looking at the kid.
Right.
And it's hard. It's very difficult, but
Right.
it's 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 working, but it's just hard.
Right. Now, I agree with you on the dreams thing, like same thing, because, yeah, younger me would probably be like, bro, why did you quit skating? But also, I think younger me would have gotten to that point of, I realized why he did. Because I
Yeah.
was good. I was good at it. I was good at it. But I don't know. I don't want to say that I wasn't good enough to really take it somewhere. It's just that maybe I didn't push myself hard enough to take it somewhere. But I also grew up and realized I could still do it, but at the same time, I need to do these things. So I started doing the things that I needed to do. And the dream of taking skateboarding somewhere just fell off. And I'm not upset about it, you know?
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, your mindset started to become more realistic.
Right. More something that, like, I can reach for right now.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, on a deeper level, there's a lot of shit that I'm like, I'm with you on. But just on the surface, even on a lot of the deeper shit, I feel like, yes, child me would be very happy of the person that I am now. Because you were there for some of it. Let's be honest, when I was 17, I was still a fucking child. I am still a child, you know?
Yeah, I think, and I mean,
But
it's argued that even when you met me, I still had that child mentality, because
we both
that was
did.
before kids, and
We both did. And for a while, we still did, even in our 20s, bro. Let's be
um,
honest with ourselves, you know? We definitely did. I mean, even just as simple as the whole us smoking weed every day thing, you know? Not that that's childlike or anything, but we're in that mindset of
no
we didn't really,
responsibilities,
yeah, we
you
didn't
know.
give a shit. We didn't really have nothing to give a shit. Well, we really had something we should have gave a shit about, but we weren't. We just wanted to smoke weed and hang out. Whereas we weren't thinking about the fact that we can hang out without that. Because, I mean, if we're not in person, but we're kind of doing that now. You know, I can sit here and play the game with you without smoking weed. You know, so we're definitely out of that mindset of it has to revolve around something like that. You know, and even with that, for for me on that, it took me a while to understand that which we've talked about this off of the podcast. I don't even think we were doing the podcast. It took a while for me to realize that I was turning into the person of using smoking weed as avoiding my fucking problems, my own mental problems, than just dealing with it. So I don't know if you see me as this way on like the whole mental health thing. I feel like that's why it matured so fast is because I stopped using it and was like, damn, now I really got to deal with it. And so I just started dealing with it. Luckily, I had you there, I had my wife there, I had a lot of people in my corner. And as bad as it sounds for people who don't look at it deeper than it is, um, more so you, because who did I go to first on a lot of shit? Who sat down on the river in the full moonlight with me, you know? But that's why I think that like my my child self for sure would be happy with how I've turned out so far. I do think that part of him would probably, I don't want to say be scared or anything, but like part of him would probably be like, I don't know if I can handle that,
Hmm. I can agree
you
with
know?
that. Yeah, that's
Like,
actually what I was about to say. Is like I would, if 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 I was little 8 year old me, I would look at who I am now and be like, I could never be that. I could never do
yeah.
that.
And
I
I
would.
mean, especially with like when you're that young, you look at, your parents or other adults in your life and you see the things that they're doing, and which I'm speaking more so for like the good things, like you see them pull up in a new car, or they've got their house taken care of. Like you don't hear the things that they struggle with.
Hmm.
So when you see them on the outside, you're like damn, they got it together. They know what they're doing. And you're sitting there thinking like, I feel like I can never do that, bro. Like,
I think if I and this is sort of where I'm coming from when you ask that question, right? Like, um, if I was even at like 13, that's when I started to really sort of change my mindset on a lot of things, and I
right.
started to critically think a lot more about the world. I think if I was to see me or a person like me in my situation today, I would be like, hold up, wait a minute, this is a lot.
Mhm.
This is way too much. I don't know if I could ever do this.
Right.
And the only really the only justification that I really have to say that that's true is just the fact that even as an adult, I've gone through certain things that have been like, I don't know if I'm going to get through this, and then still got through them.
Right.
And so, younger me, my viewpoint on a lot of things has changed, as you know, and um, so yeah, younger me would definitely be like, "Holy fuck! Like, what? This is me? Like, this is not me. You're lying to me, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I think for sure if like a portal opened with my younger self on the other side, he would definitely be looking at me like that's not me, bro.
yeah, there would be a there would definitely be a period of denial of like, holy fuck, this is who I become.
Right. And a big part for me, I don't know if I've ever even said this on the podcast, but I'm sure that I've told you. I might have said it on the podcast because I'm very open about a lot of my shit.
Hmm.
I really did not have plans for myself after 18. Like I wasn't to the extent of like, oh, 18, I'm done for it. Like no more me kind of deal. But I didn't think past it, you know?
The
I was just
same,
like
yeah.
18. I was like 18 and then whatever happens happens, you know?
Yeah, I was the same way with the community that I grew up in and how how I lived, how my family lived. It I had this mindset when I was young of like, if I make it to 21, I'd be lucky. And that's not to say
Right.
that it was like, oh, because I was going to get killed, but because of the sheer sort of mental struggle that I had gone through and somewhat put myself through.
Right.
It was like, damn, like I don't even expect to make it older than this.
Right. And it doesn't help when you're around that age with like struggling with the mental illness and stuff like that on top of your body changing, your
Yeah,
you know,
puberty and
right,
high
all of that,
school and shit
your
like that.
brain's developing a lot more than it ever has. Like, you're starting to see the other side of things that you never seen from your parents, from people who take care of you.
Actually, that's a good point, right? It's like when you start to that's sort of the time when like between like 13 and 16, that was really the time when I started to stop looking from the inside out and start looking from the inside or the outside in. And it
Right.
was like, how are other people seeing me, and
Mm.
how am I portraying myself to the world, and why, you know and then
Right.
I would avoid those I was very avoidant when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't I
Right.
didn't want to I didn't want to face my problems. I didn't want to admit that
Yeah.
I had an issue. I always had an excuse for everything.
Right. Which the side note on that, I'm very glad you are not that person anymore.
Yeah, dude. I that
Like just the avoidance thing alone, I'm very glad you are not that way anymore. Because even when just met each other, like we were both still like that. Like, and honestly,
Yeah,
more so you than me. But we
yeah.
grew up in,
It was a very timid sort of like
right,
thing coming from me. It was like, all right, I'm gonna feel. And I mean, I still do kind of do that. It's I guess now it's developed more into a skill than it is a habit.
right.
Mainly
Well,
because it's like now it has utility as
right.
opposed to me doing it when I was younger just to not feel bad.
Yeah. Well, I know. I don't remember what we were talking about, but I know recently we were talking about quite a bit on the phone for a while, and you did say you didn't want to do it, and obviously you were gonna do what you didn't want to do, but I'm still in your ear saying like, bro, you realize you do got to do it regardless if you want to or not. But I like you said, that's kind of a skill. It's like you get to that point of I don't want to do it, but I know I need to do it. Or even if you don't need to do it, it's like let me just do it to get it over with. Even if it's something as simple as like I don't want to change the tire on my car, but like I gotta do it. You might not need to do it, but like I'm gonna get tired of driving Steven back and forth to work when he could just literally just replace the tire on his car. Like,
Man, that's a hard fucking question, dude.
yeah, I for me it's not as hard. Like, I didn't have it all that bad growing up. Like, I didn't. My mom just we struggled financially. That was really just it. Like, of course, again, like I said, when you're in those teenage years and you're struggling with the mental, your body's changing, you know, you're trying to make friends, you're trying to keep the friends, you're trying out new activities, like you're going through a lot of shit in your teenage years, so it's a lot on top of everything you're doing. So it's to be expected but I feel like obviously that's anatomy is the way anatomy is. Your body's growing, so your brain is growing, you're thinking a lot more, but I feel like that's why it's so hard when you're a teenager. It's because now you're starting to see so much more than you ever seen before, because when you're 7 or 8, are your parents really sitting there like in front of you telling you we're struggling to pay rent, we're struggling to keep you in school because of this and that, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so for the thing with me is like, you know, I was I hate to say this, but I mean it's kind of sort of true. But I was spoiled to an extent.
Right.
It was like because I live with, or at least my memory, if it serves me in any kind of way, the majority of my young life I lived with my grandparents, and
Right.
so they spoiled me in as many ways as they could. And that's not to say that I got like all the latest games, or like I didn't get a new car when I was 16, right? Like I wasn't like a brat, like a spoiled brat, but
Right. But, I mean, you got a lot of the things that you wanted on top of everything you needed.
yeah, like as a kid I learned how to get the things that I wanted by sort of manipulating my environment, which was probably a fault of mine, manipulating your grandparents for personal gain. But like as a kid, and I'm
You
thinking,
don't think about that?
I'm thinking when I'm like really really young, like not when I,
Yeah.
you know,
You're
uh,
not thinking about that when you're 6, but you don't see it like that,
no, you're not, right? Like you're not, and so you're seeing it as you're getting the things that you want based on something that you do. So like you keep doing it, you're gonna keep getting the things that you want. So
Mhm.
that I remember that happening a lot, and there was times where I didn't get what I want, and that was fine. So I mean, there was I remember a point in time where it was like, okay, I have the things that I want, let me enjoy them.
Right.
And I remember during that time it was like it was sort of a more simple way of thinking. Like the things that I wanted to do were like, all right, I was like a homebody, right? Like at first, before I started skating, I was all right. I want to watch whatever TV show that comes on at whatever time.
Right.
I
Which,
remember Chris Angel was like a big thing for me. I was like, I want.
yeah.
I don't want to be a magician, but I want to learn how to do magic.
Which, you know what, though? Um, when you said before you started skating, even then, like when we met, there was still a lot of times where you didn't really want to go out and do shit,
Yeah, I mean
you
that's
know?
that's I've had a proclivity to just be just sort of chill in my own zone for a long
Reclusive.
time. Reclusive, yeah, you could say that. Um, but I remember like yeah, there was like small things that I enjoyed a lot,
Right.
and hence, and it still brings back to the point. It's the only reason why I know how to solve a Rubik's cube,
Right.
because like at one point in time it was like, all right, let me use the home computer, and I remember it was in my grandmother's room and my grandparents' room, and it was like damn near right next to their bed, and I would spend hours looking at YouTube videos on how to fucking
Uh,
solve this stupid cube.
which fun fact, I've watched him solve it in like 12 seconds.
And no, I've never solved it that fast. But I can solve it.
It
I can solve it in under a minute
Nah,
confidently.
we timed it one time. You did it in like 12, 14 seconds.
I've, I don't think I've ever done it in 12.
Nah, we timed it. I remember.
I
I
mean,
remember.
if you say
Don't lie
so,
to me.
if you say so, the
Don't
fastest
lie to
I've
me.
ever done it that I've ever recorded was like 46 seconds. So,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
either way,
Well,
right? Like,
maybe when we did it in 14 seconds, we were just high as a kite.
mm,
Yeah.
bro, bro forgot to start the timer.
You're already halfway done. I'm like, oh,
But anyway, right? Like there was simple things that made me happy. And so I remember that time it was like, okay, I didn't ask for much. It was just like, all right, let me watch whatever TV show and let me do my thing and then, you know,
right,
and that was it. And so that I remember that being one of the better times in my childhood because it was like I had everything that I needed. I was satisfied.
right,
And I remember like every time I would ask for more, it wouldn't feel right.
right. Yeah,
And
you definitely, especially once you get to that age of where you start seeing the shit that you never seen before,
yeah. And I
and you're asking
remember
for more.
like moving forward, I remember buying my first like not professional skateboard, but my first skateboard that wouldn't get me laughed at the skate park. Let's
Yeah.
just say that. I went to
Or
AZ, I bought one of their home boards or
or
their
so you think.
right, yeah, that's what I thought at the time. But because you know it's like when you start skating, everybody starts usually with unless they had somebody to hand it down to them. Everybody starts with like a Walmart board,
Right.
and then they move up to something
Or
like a
their
local
parents
skate
did
shop board.
right. Or their parents did the research and realized they need to just go ahead and get them the
Yeah,
good stuff. The good stuff. The stuff you get from Target and Walmart, it may seem good, but trust me,
it's a little different now, but anyway,
small.
right?
Side note on that, like little short story, right? I told my mom, do not get it. She didn't believe me. I broke it in 5 minutes, and she said, okay, you're right. And
Yeah.
she took me to home skate shop. We got one, and that lasted me months. And she goes, all right, you're right. I'm sorry. For now on, even if it costs me little more out of pocket than I want to, we will go where you need to go to get the right stuff. So
The same thing kind of happened to me. I had a really cheap board. I don't remember if it was like a Walmart board, but there was a loading dock. I was like, man, I will ollie off this loading dock. And the moment that I fully committed to it and both feet on the board, like I'm rolling away from this,
you broke
snap
that motherfucker.
snap the tail. Like it was like, oh well,
Broke
okay,
that,
well I guess I'm going home. I'll
broke
see
that
you
motherfucker.
tomorrow.
I broke the trucks. They were plastic. I broke the trucks.
I've I haven't broken trucks. I've broken wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's crazy is on that short story that I had that for every bit of an hour and a half. I walked back home with it broken, and we went the same day to Home Skate Shop to get one. Which, of course, at that time I was a little older, so I understood it, to an extent the value of a dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was like, "It's gonna be super expensive," and I was like, "No, like, listen, like, I won't get, I won't get like no big brand or nothing. Like, I'll go in there, I'll get their skateboards, which if anybody doesn't know, Home Skate Shop uses the same company to make their skateboards as a professional team does,
Yep.
so it's just as good. It
Yep.
just has their brand on it, but yeah, I went with that. Went with the cheapest trucks they had, the cheapest wheels they had, and it's all good quality stuff.
It
It's
is as
not
long as you take care of it. As long as you're not
right.
a like an asshole to your stuff.
The thing is like they're yes, they're cheaper, but that doesn't make them any less quality than the other stuff
Yep.
at the shop, at the skate shop. It doesn't make it any less. It's because to an extent it is personal preference. You like the way that those wheels feel, what have you,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, and
But
I think the board came out to like 90 something dollars, and she was
yeah,
like, "Oh, I thought it was gonna be like 200 something."
yeah. So
And then those trucks and wheels last forever.
when I got my first board, it was Uh, I remember I didn't really. I mean, I guess you could borderline begged. I was like, I wanted like a good board, like something
Mhm.
that's gonna make me feel like I'm doing something better. And I remember going to AZ when it was opened, and that's a it's a whole story and a half, that shop. But yeah, I remember going there. I picked out one of their like store boards or whatever, and I picked out a pair of Venture trucks
Yeah, those are
with.
dog shit.
Hey, back in the day, that was like what people. That was the go-to.
Yeah, they're affordable, you know.
Well, they were affordable and they were halfway decent, right? They lasted you for quite a
Yeah.
while.
Again, that just goes back to the personal preference.
Exactly, yeah, and the fact that they're affordable. But it was a pair of Venture trucks, a pair of, I want to say it was Spitfire wheels,
Always.
and then the red. I don't think it. No, was it the Reds? I think the Reds at the time were cheap. The Reds bearings.
Yeah, they're always like $20.
Yeah, and it ended up being like, I think it was like $40 for the board. It was the cheapest board that they fucking had. So it ended up being
Mhm.
like $60 or $70. It wasn't in terms of money nowadays. It was like, oh, this is nothing. But
Right. And it's
but
actually funny because I've had so many home skate shop boards that I could tell you what the price would be with the grip tape that I used to get, which it's not that it was like the cheapest grip tape because all of their grip tape was the same price unless you got a design.
you $5
But
every time,
it was
wasn't it?
yep,
Yep.
yep. But it was the one that I
And,
wanted
and
because it
they'd
was
put it on for you.
right. But it was the which that was free. But it was the one I wanted. It was the one I still use to this day. Like that's the only grip tape I'll use. $43.11. It's what it used to be to just get the board and the grip tape.
Yeah.
That's how many home boards that I've gotten that I would go in there and they're gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be around $40. I'm like, yeah, 43.11. They're like, damn, how do you know? I'm like, oh, I know.
This ain't my first rodeo, bud.
Ain't my
Yeah.
first home board, buddy.
But anyway, sort of kind of getting back on the topic, I think with the as far as the unfulfilled dreams go, it was a big dream of mine for a long time when I started skating. That was around the time that I started giving up. Like I stopped watching so much TV. I still play video games, but it was kind of like
Yeah.
in moderation, whatever. But I remember going out at night by myself. I would skate in the street, and you seen my grandma's house. You seen that street. I would skate in that street, up and down that street. And then I remember like this is fucking hard because when you skate at night and you're under streetlights, when you try
Can't
to
see
do
nothing.
well, when you try to do like a kickflip or something, it starts to get blurry almost. You can't really
Yeah.
see anything.
It's harder to see, yeah.
But that's how I would skate. I would skate alone, and I would do that, and I would sit there and I would listen to Kid Cudi for the longest time with my little iPod Nano and my fucking wired headphones, and I would fucking do that, or like Bullet for My Valentine. I would listen to them a lot, and bro, like yeah, dude.
I'm not judging
I
you. I
know
love
you're
you to
not
death.
judging because you probably did the same fucking shit, bro. Like, yeah, that's just how it
Yeah, that's
was.
why I'm laughing. I really wish we would have met each other then.
I
I
think
really wish we
I
would
think
have.
we would if we did, we would have definitely pushed ourselves a lot more. We would have pushed each other a lot more to become better
I
skaters.
I think for sure because obviously when we met, like I'd already fucking been doing it so fucking long. Like there was still a lot
Yeah.
that I could do that you could do, but I feel like if we would have met then, me and you would have been on the same level for sure.
Yeah, probably. And I mean,
Because there was
even when we met and we would go to the park, like you taught me
there
a
was
lot, but you
yeah.
you would do things that I was like not confident with doing.
Right, that's what I'm saying. There was still a lot of things that I would do that you would like, I don't know about that. And I'm just like, nah, buddy, I'm full send in
We're
that.
gonna we're gonna send it, yeah. I'm like, all right, give me
Yeah,
your phone. I'll get the fucking video. That's fine.
exactly. The Walkman is crazy, bro code.
How do you
But I
even know
mean,
what the fuck a Walkman is, buddy?
he's poor. I'm sorry.
Uh, no, stop.
But yeah, like I
Anyway,
said,
right?
I really wish we would have. But also, I don't know. I feel like we met at the time we needed to meet.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
You know, it, I feel like the relationship would still be here, but then again, maybe not. You know, but I know,
I think it would have taken a lot longer to progress because I still had the inclination to want to learn, even as a young
right,
kid.
right.
But
At least,
it was the more like confidence part that I didn't have, and I feel like you had more of that than I did.
yeah, especially with the skating aspect of it, I would have definitely pushed you. You know, we
Yeah,
would have pushed each other for sure, but I would have definitely pushed you to get on the level that I was
yeah.
at that age. Because like, what when you were skating in the street like that, like how old were you?
I was probably like 13, 14, something like that.
Yeah, I was. Then we were probably about in the same boat at that point, but obviously, just on the skill level, I took it more serious
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
for a lot longer. You know. Well, also because it's like around that age, that's when like really got kick flips, and I was just like, oh,
Yep.
I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now. I got
I
the one trick that I really care about. You know.
Yeah, that was around the age where I was like, all right, I got kick flips, I got small stair sets. Um,
Mm,
I could fucking grind like a flat bar that wasn't like super high,
right.
shit like that. Like
Right.
fairly basic shit. So I was
You
like,
know,
all right, this is cool.
like since we're kind of talking about it, even though it's a little bit off topic, but I want to see.
Focus.
I want to see. Somebody, somebody, turn that off. Turn it back on. Uh, like specifically when we met and we were going to the skate park a lot, and you were watching me skate. I want to see what it looked like from your eyes to watch me do all that shit.
I
Because when I look at myself skating, I'm like, I was good. I was pretty good. I had a lot of tricks. I could do a lot of things. Like I wasn't really good. There's always going to be somebody better than you. But I just want to see myself doing the thing that I enjoyed a lot that again I felt like I was really good at. I want to see it from somebody else's perspective.
So you can, and I know this is like leaves a lot of people out of the conversation here because it's very personal. Find the video of you hitting the A-frame.
I watched that one a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I still go back and watch it.
That
That was
is
3 in the morning.
so that video, and then the video of you. What what'd you do? I want to say it was like fakie shove to manual that little pad on the wave ramps, like from the wave ramps. I can't remember
Biggie
what you
Big Spin.
did.
Biggie Big
Was
Spin,
it fake?
Manny.
Yeah, that because I remember filming that too.
Yeah.
Watch that and look at it from like, damn, I've never done this before,
Right.
and that would be cool to do to be able to do
Which
confidently.
obviously that's hard because then I have to put my mindset of somebody who can't do it, you know?
Yeah,
And like
but I
it's one of
mean,
those easier said than done kind of things.
I
It's
think
not going to be that hard, but
I think if you try, yeah, like watch the footage that I've filmed for you. It's not very much, but or
right.
ollieing the handrail.
Yeah.
Remember
God,
that when you're coming
dude.
over the big
Holy
pyramid? Yeah,
fuck, dude. All
that's
right.
crazy.
It might be hitting me a little bit right now because I can picture those videos because I've seen them so much. I can picture those videos without seeing it. And you know what's crazy is the A frame specifically. It was 3 in the morning, and for some reason in that video, it has a very greenish tint on it. I don't know why. Maybe because our phones were dog shit, and
Our phones were dog shit back in the
it was
day, bro.
3 in the
Yeah,
morning.
he was like, "We're gonna go to the
But
park. Ain't
yeah,
nobody there. Fuck it, let's go."
but when you said yeah, Ollie and that because it was over the force there, Ollie and over the handrail.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! Like it makes me look at myself that like, because obviously our brains are kind of wired to an extent that like have self doubt and push ourselves down,
Yeah.
you know. But because I look at myself and I'm like, because I've had a lot of people tell me this, especially when I was like real heavy into it. Like I'd meet somebody that like heard a lot about me, has maybe met me once, and the biggest thing I always heard was he's really good at skating. Like you should see him at the skate park. And I'm like, I'm not even that good. And then I see him and they're like, bro, how did you just do that? And I'm like, what do you mean? I just did it, bro. Like it's not that hard. But I guess I never seen it as like somebody who can't do it. Which yes, you can. Yeah, you very well can. Okay,
Yeah.
can't and won't. You know, definitely was not a BlackBerry. We did not have BlackBerry phones,
No, we
but
did not. We were, well, I was an Android motherfucker for the longest time. I was like, I'll never buy an Apple phone, and I'll never do this, and I'll never do
here
that.
we
And
are. Here we are.
both got motherfucking, yeah, both got motherfucking iPhones, and it's just like, but getting back to the point, right? And I think that kind of speaks a lot too, because skateboarding was a big part of our childhood. It was a way for us to express ourselves without having,
It was a huge, huge escape
yeah,
for me, bro. Like
yeah,
I would leave school and go straight to the skate park. I would leave work and go straight to the skate park. I would wake up, go straight to the skate park. I would go home and go straight to the skate park. Like
yeah, dude. It was an insane outlet, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I wrote down that first as unfulfilled dreams, like, because that kid in me, it's just like, what happened, man? It's like that's
life.
yeah, like
And you know,
it's, and that's a
like
sorry excuse, to be
there's
honest. I'm not even gonna
yeah,
beat around.
there's
That's a sorry excuse to give up on your dreams.
right. There's a lot of times where I'm like, man, I want to go back to the skate park and skate again. And like I know I could still do it all. It would take me a little second, get back into it,
You
loosen up
might have to
some, you know.
stretch a little bit, but yeah, loosen
But
up.
but and like I'm not using this as an excuse whatsoever. It is literally the truth. And you know just as well as I do that all that spray paint and the fucking bowls and shit, it makes it so much harder, dude. Because
It
it
does,
makes
yeah.
it makes it so slick. And people who don't realize just don't realize that like all that paint in there is just making it way harder to skate on some of it. It's super slick. And
Yeah.
like that is just a huge deterrent for me. Again, not using it as an excuse because I would love to go do it, but I don't want to sit there and just be mad the whole time because it's like I don't even want to look at all this paint, bro. Like why? Why did y'all even do that? It's just annoying. And then as an excuse, right? I don't want to get hurt. I can't afford it.
It's same.
I
That's a
like
big reason for me now. Like, we have a skate park here, like where I'm at, and I mean
yeah,
it's small, but
right.
there's been
Uh
multiple times where I'll drive past and I'm just like, man, I really need to
yeah.
skate down here one day and just fuck with it a little bit, you know?
Yeah, yeah. To read chat for a second, bro code said just live there at this point, bro. I did live there. I
Yeah,
literally did. There was an entire week where I didn't even go home. I was just at the skate park, bro. That was my home away from home. Like when I tell y'all that I used to skate, I used to. I will not bring my wife in here, but she can vouch for me. I used to skate. I was there. If you didn't know where I was, Steven, where was I at?
yeah. He was at the skate park or on the way,
Mm-hmm.
or
Every time.
at a particular person's house, but that he who shall not be named.
Confused, but yeah.
um, it's
Probably for a reason.
It's yeah, it's not a person by name, just by title. If that makes sense.
No.
And then on the
Okay.
way to the skate park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. Yeah, I was definitely at the drug dealer's house. And on my way to the skate park.
But no,
I ain't
that
got no shame. I ain't got no shame in my game, baby. I was not doing hard drugs. I was just smoking weed. Okay, so
That was
it
back
is
when
what
it
it
that
is.
was back when it was like a lot less like, oh, this is what you're doing, blah blah blah, or whatever.
I was smoking that dope, boy. Anyway, now like to change the question, right? Because I mean, yeah, we can keep on going about your past self, but you've said a lot of things that made me think about this question too. Which obviously, this is one of those questions that like we can see the answer in the way that they act towards us now, but we don't actually know the answer because we are not that person. But for my sake, I guess even for you, like just your parents, guardians, the people who raised you, would they be happy of the person that you've became? And of course, yes, like I see it in your grandmother that she is very happy of the person you've become. My mom tells me all the time that she's very proud of the person I've become, you know. But it's also one of those things where like I would like to see their perspective on a deeper level.
You mentioned that, and it as you were saying that, I was writing down my answer to the first question because I feel like after that conversation, I've come to a conclusion, but the first question being, would the kid you once were be happy with who you are now? I'm gonna go ahead and say yes after a lot of deliberation because even though right I had to give up on some dreams or I chose to and I chose to go down a rough path and put myself in some situations that weren't the best
Right.
and
Or even necessary.
yeah, or even necessary for that matter. And I also at the same time I chose to hurt certain people that meant a lot in my life, and
Right.
I mean a lot.
Yeah.
um
Well, you can hurt me a million times over. I'm not going nowhere. Just know that.
maybe one day we'll talk about what I'm thinking about, but
Yeah.
um I think that kid in me would be grateful for how strong I've become, both
Hmm.
like physically and mentally and
Yeah.
emotionally, because like all of those things take sacrifice and time to develop, and it's hard.
Right.
Uh, he would be proud of like the courage that I've built, of like the standing for what I, standing up for what I believe in, and willing to carry out things that may not necessarily be easy for some people.
Right.
And I've just generally become something that I think that I can be proud of. Now, that's not to hyper focus on the things that I know that are wrong with me now, but if I had to compare it to my vision of the person that I thought I was going to be, this
Right.
is definitely a much I am a much better person than who I thought I was going to be.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I can say that too. Yeah. I
and
mean, I
and
know.
I think same with my family, right? Like my family would look at me and they would probably, if they was able to give a non-biased, honest opinion of who I was versus who I am,
Yeah.
they would be like, "Holy fuck, you've made such a turnaround. It is
Hmm.
unreal. Like you went from being a high school dropout that had nothing going for him,
Yeah.
like working shitty ass jobs. Like I got my first
No
job when I was
aspiration.
16, fucking
Yeah.
taking out trash for a hotel,
Yeah. Like no aspirations. No care in the world.
to where I'm at now, working a great job for the most part. Um,
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
school, you know,
Right.
I mean, having two kids, doing my best to take care of those. Like, yeah, like I've definitely become a person to be
Hmm.
proud of.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I
Yeah. I mean.
I would only hope that the younger self, because I can't really speak from his perspective now because I know so much more. I would really
Right.
only hope that the younger self was able to understand
Yeah.
the sacrifices that I had to make to get where I'm at.
Right.
And
Exactly.
that honestly that almost brings me to tears because it's like
That's about what I was gonna say. Because yeah, young me would definitely look me in my face and go, "Why the fuck did you quit skating?"
yeah.
But once I really sat down and was like, "Because of this, because of that, because I need to do this and that," he would be like, "Okay, like you know what? More power to you, because I wouldn't."
It sucks. That question sucks. I hate that question.
I'm good. You're supposed to. You,
It makes me feel so bad.
but don't.
Well,
You know.
it's because I'm thinking as that young kid, and it's just like fuck, man. Like,
Right now, without saying some things like obviously for you, because of some things that you've tried to do. So of course, younger you would be like, "Damn, bro, really?" You know?
yeah. At first, I was confused, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think that younger me would have been like, all right, well, that's where we're
right.
at. You know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's where we're at,
I
and
I think it's
there would be no like future, you know,
right.
or
I
no
think it's
expectation of like what was gonna happen.
right. Yeah, I definitely didn't. I think it's I think it's crazy because which I mean I work with my father-in-law, so I see it a lot. Like when we really talk about like serious things like we did a lot this week with me buying a vehicle. I see a lot of my younger self and I'm just like holy fuck, dude, like how is he doing that?
Hmm.
And I mean, of course now I'm like even while I'm asking myself how is he doing that, I know how he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? I know how he's managing to get all these things and do all these things. But I'm still just like, bro, how the fuck? Like I know it takes years to get to that point, but fuck, I want to be that person, bro. I so bad want to be that person.
And that sort of goes
And
back to the idea of like you see the end result, but you don't see the sacrifice.
exactly, which I mean, I'm getting to that point where like, yeah, I'm seeing the
Yeah,
sacrifice.
you're starting to see it. Yeah.
Like especially with the line of work that I'm in, like I might have to work a fucking 12-hour day just to get paid 10 fucking hours.
Yep.
But that's what it's got to be.
That's part
If
of
I
it.
want to,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying like I want to do the things he's doing because they go on a lot of trips. They go to the lake, like they're at the lake right now. Like I want to be able to fucking do the things that he's doing, like right now, right? They have a truck, they have a camper, but they wanted to get a bigger camper. So he's like, "Well, we need a bigger and we need a better truck, so we can actually pull that thing." Yeah, it kind of hurt a little financially, but he got a new truck. Well,
Hmm.
it's used, but it's a new truck, right? Said and done. You know what I'm saying? Said and done. It wasn't no fucking. I can't afford that. I can't do that. My credit's not good enough for that. Like, and that's mainly like the biggest thing that I aspire to be from him, and like I am beyond thankful that he's in my life. So like from the one that we have to re-record, like yes, I for sure want a father figure, and I have it because he is showing me everything that a father should be doing, and not even just a father, but as a man should be doing. Which I don't like to play the gender roles. You know what I'm saying? But he takes care of business. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So and even just for his sake, I would like to fucking he has said it multiple times to me, but he's not my father biologically. He's my father-in-law, you know, but it's nice to fucking hear a guy that you look up to look at you and say he's proud of you. It I don't think he realizes how deep that hits me, but it's a lot. It's when he says that I'm just like, well, I mean, you know, like I got to do what I got to do, but then when I am away from that situation, I'm really thinking about it. I'm like, holy fuck. Like I aspire to it because I want to be that fucking comfortable, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm getting there. It's a fucking struggle, but I'm getting there, you know? So there's still a lot of child me when I look at him.
Yeah, you kind of revert back to that way of thinking of like, damn, I'm just like an apprentice of life.
Right. Like, every time I'm like, we're talking about those serious things, like, especially financially things, you know? I'm just like, I could fucking never, bro. But it still goes back to like the whole mentality of skating. You can, you definitely can. You just gotta fucking do it.
You just gotta do
You
it,
just,
yeah.
you know,
You
it's
gotta be
that
willing to make a mistake.
mind over matter, bro. And I still live by that. How many times have you heard me say that at the skate park? Mind over matter.
Yeah, I'm about to be living by that here in like a week. With that being
But
said, right, like, yeah, go ahead, because
I was gonna continue for the question, the second question, right? Because I don't talk to my mom every day, and sometimes there's like we'll go a week without calling each other. My brother calls her every day, but I mean, I love my brother to death, and I don't mean this to talk bad on him at all, but he could be doing a lot better for himself. He's trying, okay? He's trying really hard. He's just it's not easy, regardless of who you are and what you make, you know.
yeah,
But it's it kind of hurts to hear when I'm talking to my mom and we're on those deep conversations and she's telling me she's really proud of me, like I'm happy with what you're doing in life, like and then hear her say like I really wish like your brother would kind of be more like you and just really get his ass in gear, but he is also trying, you know. So she doesn't mean it in a bad way. She just means that like I wish your brother, considering he's older than me, would have done just as well.
mm-hmm.
Not that I'm doing really well, but I'm doing better than some of these 28-year-olds out here, bro.
Well, it kind of goes to show, and partly I'm saying this partly because of possible listeners, and partly because it's really the truth. It kind of goes to show that she wants just as good for him as she does for you.
Yeah, she's a caring,
So
loving parent, you
yeah.
know.
So I mean, it's not like anything to bash sort of his character or his
Yeah.
capacity in any way.
And
It's just like, okay, this is this is her comparison, and it's all she's got.
right,
So
she only has two kids, you know.
right, so and it's and also to clarify that like she's not saying one is better than the other. And the
No.
only reason why I can speak for this is because I know her so well.
Yeah, if there's anybody I'm taking input from, it's you.
You
You
know,
know.
so yeah, like she's not seeing it as better or worse. It's it's a
She like you said, she just wishes the same for him,
yeah,
you know.
or even better, right? Like
Right. And I would not even be mad. I would actually be very happy if he was doing better than me. And that's not to say that he's not doing well for himself, you know, because like his bills are taken care of. The living situation not so great. I wish he didn't live there, but it's what he can afford, you know. But like he's taking care of himself. He's got a job. He's doing what he needs to do. He's taking care of his dog. Like everything is taken care of, and he's doing the right things.
mm-hmm,
It's just part of his problem is his mindset on things, right? Because like we were very recently talking about the job that I have now, and he's like, man, you're so he honestly he kind of talks to me like I talk to you. You're so much smarter than me. I couldn't do something like that. And every time I'm like, but you can though. Like you really can.
That's it's funny that you say that because I was gonna cut you off and I was like, all right, let's see what he says. But I was gonna cut you off and I was like, you know what? I think the biggest thing is you gotta want more for yourself, and you gotta understand that yes, it may be hard, and yes, you might have to sacrifice a little bit, like the of the now, and struggle a little bit now, but in doing so, you 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 become better.
Yeah. I think his biggest problem is being content,
We've talked about this a lot, being
you know.
content in a situation
Yeah. And that's
because
mainly because it's like it's working out for him and he's able to afford everything he needs to afford and he's got a place to stay, but he's content with it. And
and
I
therein lies the problem too, is because like
right. And
when you
hopefully I'm
when you
wrong.
become content with it, yeah, and this is just on the premise that maybe this is the way that he thinks. When you become content with a situation, you become reliant on it,
Right.
and so you don't think about what
Yeah.
happens when you no longer have those same opportunities.
Mhm.
And the same is going to happen for me eventually, right? With my particular situation, um, moving forward, this is going to be vague intentionally, but you'll understand. Moving forward, I will then have to rely on other means for certain
Right.
things, right? So then it's going to be like, all right, you're not there's you'll have to create your own stability versus not really it being handed to you, but versus what I have now. Like the stability that I have now is gonna fall. Like I have to prepare
Right.
myself. That's the point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. You're going to have to find something else.
I think I think it's a good mindset to have is that any situation that you're in, whether it be good or bad, it's going to eventually come to an end or
Right.
change in a way that is no longer going to be beneficial for you.
Exactly.
So either it's a
Exactly.
you become content with what you have and then eventually you become this person that you don't like
Mhm.
and continue this road, or you say, okay, this is where I'm at and it's not going to last forever. I know it's not,
Right.
or I hope it doesn't.
Right.
And what can I do now to set me up for when it doesn't help me anymore?
Mhm. Yeah. And I mean, like for my brother, right? Like I'm very proud of what he's doing, you know. My main concern is his living situation. Like he's not in a terrible living situation. Like he's in a house, but it's the people that he's with. Not that they are terrible people, but I just personally I would never, you know, which to put it out there, fuck it, you know. He's living with his ex-girlfriend and her boyfriend,
That's
which
that's hard.
luck luckily they all get along, you know what I'm saying? They're all cool with each other and everything, and he's got a place to live and he pays his bills, like what have you. But I just could never, bro.
I
Like
couldn't.
you
You seen
it's
well,
weird.
I was about to say you seen I stayed at your house. You seen what had
It's
happened.
it's
The
weird.
the the kudos to him for
Right.
having that sort of capacity to put up with that. Is it
Yeah.
necessary? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how he thinks.
Yeah.
Me
And
personally, I'm kind of with you. I and
could
and
yeah,
you can
could
agree
never.
with me from firsthand experience. I could never.
Right. I could never. I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? But
Even if it was like my very last option, I would still refuse, probably egotistically, just because it would cause me more harm.
yeah, and now, so it's not to say that he couldn't, because my mom has an open room. It's not to say that he couldn't go live with her. It's more so the fact that he has a big dog. She's a
Mm-hmm.
pit bull, and not really allowed in that complex. And my mom also has two dogs, and one of those dogs doesn't really get along with other dogs, especially females. So it's actually like, for my mom's sake, it's it's already good enough that the female dog gets along with the other one, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Which I think it's more just she puts up with him, but but yeah,
Anyway,
and it
we've drifted way far off topic.
yeah, honestly, at this point, I don't care. I kind of want to stay on this one.
Well, I had a question. I had a question that I wanted to kind of round
All
it
right.
off with.
Well, let me. I I can say that my mom is proud of him, and I'm proud of him because for when we all moved out, right? I moved here with my wife. We started our own life. You know, my mom moved out, started her own life again
Mhm.
with the guy she's married to now. My brother moved out, stayed with my grandma, but they got an apartment together, and very proud of him for that. He made sure she was well taken care of, especially with her dealing with cancer, you know. And it hit him very hard when she passed away, probably harder than the rest of us, because that was, he was her caretaker for the longest, which is kind of what put him in the situation he's in now, because he just couldn't afford that apartment by himself. But I'm proud of him. I just wish he would do better and realized that he could do better.
Yeah.
I need
So
to talk to him more.
these conversations kind of make you realize a little bit more than what you think about daily.
Yeah, I got so much shit going on all the time, dude. Trying to do my own life that you forget things like that. I
Yeah.
text him here and there quite a bit, but nothing really deeper than just what you've been doing, you know.
Yeah. Well, to sort of caveat off of the initial question, right? With and this is something that I don't necessarily want because I'm not going to answer it right now. I'm going to think on it.
Excuse me.
I need more than just a few minutes to think on this one.
Yeah, we can come back to it.
Do you think, or well, hold up.
I don't think at all. I just do.
Good point. Um, would your future self, or whoa, hold up. Let me see. Let me see how I'm going to word this.
You got it. I believe in you.
Would you now be proud of the person that you are on track to become?
I can't answer that because that also mean that
Well, so here's some stipulations to that question, right? Don't give don't give the cliche answer of and this the reason why I say this is because I kind of want everyone to think about where they are in life and what they're doing now to become who they
where they
are going
want.
to become.
Right.
So don't think of it as, well, anything can happen, you know, so I can't really tell you. So you're gonna do a little bit of inferring, right? You're gonna sort of a
Right.
little bit of guessing. But what you're doing in your life now, think about if you continue to do that same thing, that have that same routine, do you think you would be proud of the person that you're on track to become? And then that's a deep question because it requires you to really think about the repercussions of what you're doing now as a person.
Right.
And
I mean,
you can think about it in terms of a couple years, maybe a couple
Right.
months. Obviously
Yeah.
tomorrow. I
Right.
mean, yeah, you can even think about it in tomorrow.
Right. Now with the factor of what I need to happen to prove myself the thing that I've always told myself, I can't answer, you know. But with the mindset I have, absolutely I would be, you know.
Well, and that's the thing too, and this is not to sort of question you or anything. Is maybe
I
just
don't know what's gonna happen in 5 years either.
well, maybe maybe I'm trying to stir the pot a little bit and get you thinking more. But
Yeah, that's all you do is stir the pot.
yeah, because I don't like simple answers. I like well
Yeah.
thought out answers.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you didn't let me give the well thought out answer. Cutting me off.
okay,
Not
well, what is it?
no, because I was gonna say, with the with the mindset I have of like doing what I got to do and like starting to build up my financial standing, which like I hate to keep talking about it, but like that's the for me that is my biggest problem right now, you know, because I can have something happen and work myself through it, you know.
Hmm.
It's the financial standing that I'm not great with, but um, with the mindset that I have on that, like yes, because I'm gonna I'm gonna understand the way some of these things work financially, of course, a lot better. I'm gonna see it a lot more. It's gonna be easier to manage, to deal with, you know.
Hmm.
Easier for like them to tell me a number and me understand it without having to call my father-in-law and been like, is it, you know, is it a whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, because I've already started telling myself like I need to just do it and stop pushing it off. So, I mean, yeah, I would definitely yes to the answer, you know.
Okay, that's valid. I think there's two things that you sort of made me think of. One, having the mindset is different from doing the things. And I mean,
Right.
that's not, I'm like I said, I'm not really challenging you based on like the things that you've done or haven't done. It's more or less just to kind of get you thinking. But having a
Yeah.
mindset is different from like having motivation.
Right.
And then
Well,
secondly, don't going back to sort of the stipulation that I made, don't use the reasoning of you don't know what's gonna happen,
right.
because this is like a thought experiment, right? That's the whole point. Don't use that reasoning to say I don't know, but
Right.
sort of kind of assume that nothing dramatically crazy is gonna happen to change your life,
Right.
and it's solely based on the fact of like if you continued the way that you are now, would you be proud of who you become?
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, it's
And
it's
look,
it's more of a thought experiment to get you to sort of think about where you're at and what you're
right.
doing and
And look at the reason I can confidently say yes now is because of the way my mental state is. Like, what did I say earlier about the dog passing away? It's been like almost 2 weeks now. I haven't, I've of course thought about it a lot, but I'm to that point to where I'm not crying about it every night. It has been probably 5 days since I've cried. Granted, my mind has been very occupied,
mm-hmm.
but I have still thought about him a lot. You know,
Yeah.
when I mentioned earlier that his bed is still next to my desk, it hurts, but it's easier to deal with, and it hasn't even been that long.
Yeah.
And not that I'm getting over it because you never get over something like that, but when it comes to the emotional stress, I know I can handle it. You know, like I said, my biggest problem is financially, and I'm already telling myself instead of pushing it back, which I'm kind of pushing it back, but like I'm only doing that because of everything that I've just done in this past week. I kind of have to backburn some financial things,
Right.
but give me a couple weeks, maybe a month or two. Probably not. I don't even want to push it to 2 months. I'm actually gonna fucking go to the bank and be like, just give me what I can get for a credit card because I need to start building it on top of the car payments, building it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm to the point of I'm tired of fucking procrastinating the shit that I just need to do. And that's not everything because like obviously every fucking week I'm putting my money into bills and whatnot, you know. But I'm just doing like the base things that I need to do. I'm not
Yeah.
doing the things that are gonna help me long term, which now I'm like I said, I'm to that point where I'm tired of it. Like I'm gonna keep being in the situation I'm in if I just don't fucking if I don't do it.
Yeah.
So I might as well suck it the fuck up, struggle for the little bit that it's gonna be to build that shit up and do it. You know,
Yeah. Definitely.
again, that falls into that skateboarding mentality, bro. You're not gonna do it unless you do it.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta stop being scared that I'm gonna fuck up a credit card and never be able to pay it off because I can. And even then, I don't have my wallet on me. I have a credit card in my wallet. It is my wife's credit card. It's a secured one with like a 250 limit. It can't go any higher. But I don't ever use it. I used it once today for like 40 something dollars. And I didn't even want to use it. The only reason I did is because I don't know what I have in my bank and I didn't feel like checking and I want to make sure I have enough money for gas and I don't like using the credit card at all.
Yeah.
So and maybe it's part of me is I don't like using it because it's not mine, you know. So I don't want to fuck her shit up because I'm being reckless.
Right. That's
But
understandable.
I mean, you know me, I'm not as reckless as I used to be, and that's not just like physically reckless, like
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Well, with that, um, viewers think about that. Think about those questions.
You know
Definitely
what?
answer them to the best of your ability. Give them some thought though.
Yeah, and you know what? Since you've um, been in here, I know people are not knowing the name that I am saying, but it's a screen name on my streams. Uh, Bro Code, more specifically, you like really. I'm not trying to force you to do anything you don't want to do, but really take into consideration a lot of things that we say and talk about. At least try to, because I was your age once, and I really wish I had somebody to tell us the shit that we talk about.
Yeah,
I
same,
really
dude.
fucking do.
Same.
I probably would not be in the situation that I'm in. I'd probably be a way better person than I am, you know. Now, of
Right.
course, I kind of did. Like, I had my mom there, but at the same time, my mom never pushed me as hard as Steven has ever pushed me.
I can't take all that credit.
So,
So
yes, but you have pushed me harder than I care to admit, honestly. You know, like it's 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 also different coming from you than coming from my wife because you don't see me every day. You know a lot about me, of course, but it's also like my wife. It's us. It's like it's almost one person. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it should be.
Right. So when it comes from you, it's the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Even though it's technically it's not because of how close we are, but it's still the outside looking in. You know what I'm saying? You're
Yeah.
not me, you're not her, you're not my mom. You're you, you know. And that's why I genuinely mean it. Like all the jokes that I do when we play video games, bro code and everything like that. That's all fun in games, but like you're young and even though barely know you. I only know you through a screen name and we play video games. I really want the best for you, want the best for anybody who watches. But since I know for a fact that you're one of the younger people who watch us, like seriously, take everything we say, like take it with way more than a grain of salt, you know?
Yeah.
Take the whole canister of salt, bro. Take it all. Like, please. You know what I'm saying? Dump it out in the bag and keep the bag. I don't care what you do with it. Like, think about it, you know?
Yeah.
Because I would hate to see you later in life be like, damn, I should have listened to you then, you know? Because I have already done that to myself.
We both have, yeah.
Yeah, I've already done it to myself, even so more so recently, especially like more happened when I moved in around the time I moved in here, where I was like, damn, like I really wish I would have listened to some of the shit that people told me, some of the shit that Steven told me. Like, wish I would have been so fucking hard headed, you know? Maybe I would have been more proud of myself, which I'm very proud of myself, but I'm just saying, like, maybe it would have been sooner.
Hmm.
I'm done with
Damn.
my deep conversation with Bro Code.
Yeah.
I love you, Bro Code. I love you, Bro Code.
It's it's almost 12 o'clock right now, and
Yeah.
I got work tomorrow, so it's gonna be it for
Yes.
me.
Yeah. I'm gonna go lay down.
I've said my piece. You wanna do your little outro?
My little outro. You got beg me for it. No.
Mm.
What about a convo with? Oh, he wasn't even listening. Before we, Bro Code episode season 2 episode 5 when it gets posted on the Discord.
On
At the
Monday.
very least, yeah. At the very least, go watch the last like probably 4 minutes. I got a very, very deep message for you, and I really need you to hear it. Okay. With that being said, I love each and every one of you. Make yesterday, make today, make yesterday. What do I say?
Make today a better day
Make
than
today,
yesterday.
yeah, make today a better day than yesterday. Stop stealing my spotlight. Sit down. Yes, for you. Make today a better day than yesterday and even tomorrow. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Holy shit.